Hey guys, it is Echo here, and I am back for another 911 Lone Star episode review. Today we're going to be talking about Season 5, Episode 2, titled Trainwrecks, and we're going to start off with Judd's storyline, so let's get started.
Look, in the 12 months he's been gone, amazing candidates have emerged and they picked up the weight that your dad had to put down. None more so than Paul and Marjan. And you know how talented they are. You've dealt with them in the call center. So
yeah.
Would it really be fair for me to suddenly forget about all of that just because my old lieutenant, as wonderful as he was, suddenly wants his job back?
So Wyatt goes to see Owen. He wants to help his father get his job back because Wyatt can tell that Judd misses firefighting. I love that Wyatt is willing to fight for his dad. Judd helped Wyatt so much through recovery, and now Wyatt kind of wants to repay him back and help him get his old job back. However, Owen makes a really good point that it would be unfair to those that have stepped up in his absence. It would be one thing if no one had stepped up, but Paul and Marjan have put in the effort. To deny one of them the position because Judd suddenly wants his old job back would simply be unfair.
Do you any good?
And how do you know that?
Because I already tried it.
You what?
I went into his office this morning. I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but I had to fight for you. I couldn't convince him. Dad, I failed you, and I'm so sorry.
Hey, listen. It's okay. You've never failed me, okay?
Yeah.
Judd nails the road test and basically gets the trucking job. However, instead of short hauls, they want him to do long hauls to the coast. That's a problem because he has Charlie to take care of. So what does he do? He tries to call Grace, but unfortunately, she doesn't answer. Since the show began, we saw Judd lean on Grace for everything, but now he doesn't have her. Instead, he goes to Wyatt. I think we're going to see a lot of him leaning on Wyatt this season to fill that void of Grace. Anyways, Judd thinks he should try and go get his old job back, but Wyatt had already tried that. I know Judd hates the idea of going back to square one, but Judd loves being a firefighter. In the end, it might be worth it to go back to being a Pro B. With Judd's experience and knowledge, I'm sure it wouldn't take long for him to move up the ranks.
Family official.
Tommy Vega, are you serious?
I think so. Trevor Parks? What would you say if I asked you to be my husband?
I say yes.
Yes. You said yes? You said yes. Yes? You said yes.
I'd say yes, but...
What?
So Tommy proposes. I am so excited about this as I love Tommy and Trevor together. And I had previously heard that there would be a wedding this season, so I've been secretly hoping that it would be this couple, and I think all clues are pointing it towards them. Also, I love that it was Tommy, the one that proposed. I'm all for screwing gender norms and see women do things that men normally do. And Trevor said yes, but there is a catch, so let's check this out.
Their divorce settlement, like she only agreed to allow him to move to Texas with Melody on the condition that if he ever remarried, she would get to approve of whoever he brought into her life or revoke the agreement.
Talk about leverage.
Yeah, she's pulling all the strings.
Look, if Trevor's ex is doing this for the sake of Melody, then kind of sounds like she's doing it from a good place.
So Tommy was acting weird all day at work. She was stuffing her face full of food and going on a rant about TikTok on one of their calls. Finally, TK and Nancy were able to get her to say what the problem was. Trevor will only marry Tommy as long as his ex-wife vets Tommy and her children and approves of it. Yes, this is in the divorce settlement. I think TK is correct in that his ex-wife wants to make sure her daughter will be well taken care of. So maybe Tommy going through with it in the end isn't the end of the world. I'm sure if Tommy were in the same situation, she'd want the same thing. However, I do think it is going a little bit too far by adding this into the divorce settlement and also vetting Tommy's children. I'm curious to see how this will all play out. Also, I just want to add that I watched Suits over the summer. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend watching it. It is now one of my favorite shows. But if you didn't know, the actors who played Tommy and Trevor also played Jessica and Jeff on Suits. And Jessica and Jeff were linked as a couple on the show. Lone Star really did a great job in casting these two, knowing that they already had chemistry together.
The AFD all-time record.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Congratulations, Marjan.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, Paul. Let's open yours.
Must we do that? We don't have to do that, Cap. It's cool.
Oh,
What is it that bad?
worse.
Damn it, I knew it. I always overthink those standardized tests. Ever since my PSAT.
You scored a 98.78.
Excuse me?
No, that's my score, the all-time record.
Utah.
And the competition continues. Owen is still struggling to make a decision. He first has Mateo pretend to be both so he can figure out who would be the easiest to let down and make his decision based off of that. Next, he tries to decide based on who scored the highest on the lieutenant test. Well, they got the same score. So yep, Owen still hasn't decided. Owen, I have a bachelor's degree in management, so here is my advice. Make a list of your strengths and weaknesses. Then also make a list of Marjan and Paul's strengths and weaknesses. From there, see if Marjan or Paul has strengths in areas that you are weak in. Try to find someone that will complement you, that will come through in areas you struggle in, and vice versa. That's my advice, Owen. Now, let's get to the big part of the episode, which is the train derailment.
Okay, half an inch.
Gently pull the plunger. Does anything come out?
No, I don't see anything.
That's fine. We'll go in another 1/4 inch.
I hit something.
Okay, good. Stop there. That's the pericardial sac. Pull the plunger again.
Okay, I'm seeing some pink stuff. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. Keep going.
So the biggest thing I want to talk about in this part is Mateo. Y'all, Mateo stole the show in this week's episode. I mean, it's about time that Owen steps back and we get to see the incredibly talented other firefighters. But in the scene, Mateo had to perform a pericardiocentesis, basically sticking a needle in this man's chest to drain the fluid around the sac around the heart. This is because the man had a cardiac tamponade. So I watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy, and this whole scene I kind of knew what was wrong and what needed to happen. It happened in season 4 on Grey's when Meredith had to perform this procedure after an ambulance crash. And I know it's TV, but Meredith, who is a doctor, was freaked out to perform this procedure. I can't even imagine Mateo, who isn't even a paramedic, how he felt. You push that needle too far and you're puncturing this man's heart. Thankfully, Mateo saved the day though.
Copy your mayday, firefighter. What's going on out there?
Propane tanker's about to blow! Hey, shit!
I also really think that Marjan stepped up too. She was in charge of making sure the tanker was cool so it wouldn't explode. You could see her step up and really lead the 129, and the 129 followed her orders and really worked with her. Unfortunately, the water supply ran out and ultimately the show ends with the tanker blowing up. The look on Marjan's face at the end, man, I really hope she will be okay. But after the end of this episode, I really feel like the race for lieutenant just became between Marjan and Mateo. So before this week, here was my top 5 favorite 911 Lone Star episodes. In number 1, we had 417, Best of Men, and 418, In Sickness and in Health. In number 2, we had 3-4, Push. In number 3, we had 4-9, Roadkill. In number 4, we had 212, The Big Hate. And in number 5, we had 412, Swipe Left. Unfortunately, this episode did not make my top 5. It was, again, a very good episode, but the promotion was focused so much on the train derailment, so I was left a little disappointed when the train derailment didn't even come into play until the very last bit of the episode. I'm excited for next week though. Based on the promos, I think this episode could contend for my top 5. So again, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this review. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, share it, and let me know in the comments below what you thought. And I will see you next week for the next episode review.